what we're advising today is that we are taking a cautious approach to a previously confirmed case. So we had a case 1017, who had been previously confirmed as a positive case back in mid-May, well, actually on the 21st of May. So this case had done 14 days within our hotel, had been cleared in accordance with the national guidelines on day 10 as required. It wasn't a variant of concern, but he remained for 14 days. He was allowed out of the hotel yesterday, and at that stage he proceeded to have a test. He works in the maritime industry, and he had a test as required by the industry, and he was discovered to have a moderately positive test on his PCR. Now, getting positive tests on PCR is not unusual. We often get people who are chronic shedders. But the test result was more moderately positive than we would anticipate. So as a precaution, we have put him back into one of our quarantine hotels and have taken further tests. His test today was weaker, which is more in line with what we would expect with somebody who was a chronic shedder. And we believe that he is a non-infectious chronic shedder. What he's shedding is viral particles. He's not shedding virus. So we don't believe he is of major concern to the community. Having said that, we've taken a very precautionary approach. He only got out at lunchtime yesterday. He visited a couple of places. He visited a pharmacy, he visited a telephone store, and he obviously had a meal at a hotel. And then yesterday morning, he was put back into hotel quarantine. What we will be doing, so he came out on Friday, he went back into hotel quarantine on Saturday. What we will be doing, though, is contacting people who may have been at those sites, and we believe the numbers are small. I think there may have been 12 people at the restaurant and a similar number in the store, and just asking them to get tested in the next day or so. We're not requiring them to quarantine, but we are just asking them to get tested. Obviously, if they develop symptoms, then we'd ask them to isolate and also get tested. Just to reinforce, we do not believe he is infectious, but we will need to do some further tests going forward. So we'll be doing some viral cultures and another whole genome sequencing to actually confirm that that is the case. And this is just purely precautionary.
So he's back in hotel quarantine yesterday. How many people at those exposure sites have been tested so far?
At the exposure sites?
Well, not directly exposure sites, but like the restaurant, for example.
So we are in the process of contacting them at the moment, and we will get them to test. But as you can imagine, one, we don't believe he's infectious. Two, even if on the very rare chance he may have been infectious, and remember it's now day 16 since he was first diagnosed, so the chance of him being infectious is very low, they wouldn't have shown. These viruses have an incubation period of generally between 3 and 10 days, so people wouldn't be positive even if that was the case.
And these people that will eventually get tested, they have to isolate until their result is back, or
No, they don't have to quarantine. They just need to get. We're just recommending they get tested at this stage, and that they obviously, if they have symptoms, they will have to isolate. But if they are asymptomatic, and I should make the point, he's been asymptomatic all along, and they just need to just get a test, and obviously just keep an eye on if they become unwell to get further tests.
Where are the locations?
Okay, that's the WA Chief Health Officer there providing an update about one case. So a confirmed case from mid-May, from quarantine. He was cleared after 14 days. He was allowed out. He got tested. He works in the maritime industry. He returned a moderately positive test. He's now back into quarantine. The test today was weaker. He was described as a non-infectious chronic shedder of the virus, but he did visit a couple of places, including a restaurant, while he was out. And those people they're contacting who may have been exposed to those venues, just asking them to get tested as well. But from the update that we just got there, from the WA Chief Health Officer, he is not infectious, so they don't seem too worried about it at this point in time, but we'll keep you updated.